and ladies. Give me 1 second. Let me put my headphones on. All right. This is story time with Alex. All right. And oh Lord in heaven, have mercy. I've been meaning to tell this story. I'll tell you that. This is one of those. This is one of those bar stories that I fucking. It's hilarious to me, right? So I got a chipped tooth, right? And this began 2 weeks ago. How I got the chipped tooth. It began 2 weeks ago, right? And right? And for those who are asking, like, why did I get this haircut, right? I got a haircut because with this chipped tooth, you know how my hair looks crazy, right? And I didn't shave. I'm like, look, this look only works when my teeth are fucking straight and aligned. I cannot have fucked up hair and fucked up teeth, man. It just doesn't work like that. Like it just doesn't work. So I'm like, something has to give. So I gotta look at least nice in my face. You know what I'm saying? So let me teach you guys how this happened, all right? And this story will give you guys a an example in stupidity and in not learning your lesson and also not snitching. Yo, this story is so fucking crazy, man. Anyways, all right, so this is how it started, right? So 2 weeks ago, it was a Sunday night, right? It was Sunday, and I was waiting to go on a date with this girl, and we were supposed to meet at 6 p.m., right? And it was like 4 p.m. and I was like, you know, let me go downtown and let me go downtown and get some weed and I'll smoke it up at the public housing buildings. You know, I made videos at the public housing buildings, right? I'll smoke up there and go back and go to the date and chill out, right? And so one of the things about the public housing buildings is that sometimes homeless people go there, right? And most of the time, homeless people they're not that bad. Usually, 99% of the time, they're not that bad. And I went up there, got the weed, went up there, and mind you, I live in Queens, right? So I went up there and at the rooftop, because mind you, the rooftop, right? The rooftop, you have the seventh floor where people live, right? And in order to access the rooftop, you got to go up a set of stairs, right? And then in the set of stairs, you walk through a hallway and you open the door and you're in the rooftop, right? But in that hallway, people stay there. You know, because no one watches you in that hallway because you're in a set of stairs, you're in a hallway, there's no one around you, so people go to sleep there. I go there and smoke and roll my weed there, right? And so when I went up there, I saw two homeless people, a lady and a guy. And they were like, hey, what's up? We can smoke him now. It's cool though. I went there and rolled my weed. And I was only gonna roll my weed and go downstairs and go outside and smoke it outside, right? So I rolled it and I went downstairs. And when I went downstairs to go to the elevator, there was a girl facing the hallway, right? And she was like, when she saw me go walk in, and she was like, don't fucking walk in, don't walk in, don't walk in. I'm like, what are you talking about? Don't walk in. And when I walked in, and when I turned right to go to the elevator, you guess who was there? Cops. The cops were there, right? And mind you, I had my phone in my hand, right? And I had my blunt under my phone. So there's no way this cop could have seen that I had weed in my hand, right? And the cop was opening what had his hand on the elevator. And I walked in the elevator and I'm like, fuck, let me just get in here and get the fuck out. And he was like, what do you have in your hand? I'm like, I just have my phone. What are you talking about? I just have my phone on me. And I'm like, fuck, this guy's suspicious. And he was like, come inside, come outside. And I was like, fucking shit, here we go, here we go, here we go. And he was like, do you have anything on you? I'm like, dude, I just came here to roll some weed and leave. And he was like, you came here to roll weed. I was like, yeah, I came here to roll weed and get weed. He was like, where you got it from? I was like, I got it from a block away. He was like, well, then what are you doing in this building? And he was like, and I was like, I just came here to roll my weed and go. And he was like, I don't believe that. I'm like, you fuck, what are you talking about? I'm here to go. I'm on my way to a date. What are you talking about? I'm going to a date. You know, I was like, look, nigga, look, I got condoms here, man. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm on my way to a date. And he was like, I don't believe you, man. I don't believe you. That you're fucking with me. You're fucking lying to me, man. And I was like, are you fucking joking me? I'm lying to you now? And then they fucking arrested me. And then they were like, oh, you got, and then I told them I had weed on me, right? And they arrested me and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this motherfucker, right? Because his face, his eyes looked like they were, that motherfucker looked like he couldn't go. Now he looked like he was working too much. You know what I'm saying? So they arrested me, right? And I'm going downstairs. I'm like, fuck this shit, man. You know, and I'm coming downstairs and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll get arrested. They'll arrest me for 1 hour and they'll let me leave because that's how it usually works, right? And then they were like, was there anyone upstairs? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It was like two people there, man. And they were like, for real? And I was like, yeah. All right, let's go back upstairs. And I'm like, fucking bullshit. Now we gotta go back upstairs. See, now I'm wasting my time, and I'm like, I'm gonna be late now, right? And so they went upstairs, and then they called 10 other cops, and there were 10 cops upstairs, right? And so they got the two people, right? They arrested us, me, then the two people, right? And then we started talking, right? And I started talking to the guy and to the lady and the guy, right? Because when we were in jail, and we all talked. It was pretty cool, right? And I found out that the guy that got arrested with me, he was a fucking murderer. He got arrested for murder, right? He went to jail for 8 years for murder. 8 years for murder. Who goes to jail for 8 years for murder? This motherfucker did. 8 years. This Puerto Rican guy, right? And we started talking. He was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "My name is Alex." I didn't give him my real name, right? And we started talking, and he was actually a cool guy, very smart. And the lady, she didn't talk that much. 1 hour later, I got out. He stayed. The lady stayed, and I left. Right. Went on a date. Everything went bad. Nothing happened. Right. Nothing happened at all. Right. And so I was like, you know what? That case is over. Right. Right. I don't think so. So 2 weeks later, I went back to the same spot. It's a spot I've always gone to that spot. I've been to that spot many times. Right. And I went back there. It was actually yesterday. No, 3 days ago, right? I went back to the same spot, rolled up, smoked up, and I left downstairs. And when I was coming downstairs, right? Guess who I see walking through the door, trying to enter the building, right? The guy that got arrested with me. And he wasn't just walking with somebody. No. That'd be too simple. He was walking with someone on a wheelchair. He had somebody on the wheelchair, right? There were two home there again. This guy was he was like a crackhead, right? He's like one of those strong crackheads though. Like he's not those flimsy crackheads. He's a strong crackhead. He's a different kind of crackhead. He's one of those 21st century crackheads. And he was rolling this guy in a wheelchair. Mind you, sometimes when you have a wheelchair, some wheelchairs are too big, are too wide. So you got to shorten it. And in order to shorten it, you got to lift the guy in the wheelchair up and then close it up, get into the door, and put the guy sitting down, right? So the guy that got arrested with me remembered my name. He was like, "Hey, what's up, Alex?" I was like, "Hey, you." And I was like, I was too high. Mind you, I was high as shit. I just smoked up, right? I was like, I'm 2 days. I'm like happy as shit. Everything's positive. And I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm walking through. I'm listening to the Philip DeFranco show. And he was like, "Oh, man, help me out. Help me pull him through the door." And I was like, okay, brum, brum, help them out, open the door, help them through the door, right? And I walk into the building with him, right? And he was like, "Oh my God, don't leave yet. And I'm like, okay. Mind you, what disappointed me the most about this whole situation wasn't the situation itself. What disappointed me the most was me. Something in me wasn't aware of certain signs that were being admitted to me. I wasn't aware of that something was wrong right there. I was not aware of that. There's something, I just wasn't picking it up. And so weird that I wasn't picking it up. He was like, "Wait, don't go." And I was like, "Okay. Do you know where I could like give a police report?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? A police report?" He was like, "A police report." And I'm like, in my mind, in that moment, I was like, this motherfucker's a criminal. He knows exactly where to give a police report. That should have been the first time. I didn't compute that to be weird at all, right? And then the next second, he was like, wait a minute. I'm like, "Dude, I gotta go right now, bro. I gotta go." And he was like, "Give me your cell phone. I gotta make a call to somebody. Please, I gotta make a call to somebody." And I was like, "Dude, I gotta go right now." He was like, "Look, my phone is dead. My phone is dead." And I was like, and guess what? He opened his phone and it wasn't dead. Second sign, wasn't aware of that. I still thought that everything was good, right? And I'm like, okay, dude, dude, I gotta go. Nah, I don't think so, dude. I gotta go right now. I opened it. Mind you, I have a book bag on me, right? I opened. First, fucking biggest mistake I made was this. I turned my back on him, right? I turned my back on him, which is that one thing out of all the things I did, that one thing was the biggest mistake of all. I turned my back. I open the door, and he's right behind me, right? I'm still not aware of what's going on. I'm still thinking that everything's fine. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, wait. And I'm like, dude, I gotta go, right? And so I turn back, right? Imagine this is him, right? I turn back and he grabs onto the thing of my book bag like this, right? He grabs onto this, right? Because some book bag have a little thing, right? And I'm like, I looked at this, and I'm still not aware of what the fuck is going on. That was some good weed, man. Like I'm still not aware that this is turning violent. Like I wasn't aware of it. Like I was seeing it, but I was like, dude, I just need to go. Like what the fuck? Like when you're high, you're just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's like my danger zones wasn't really like computing. I looked at, he grabbed my book bag. I look at him, and then all of a sudden, he just fucking punches me in the fucking mouth, like pow. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like I didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? And I thought he broke my whole tooth. I thought he broke my whole tooth, and I just fucking squiveled away from my book bag, and I was like, "What the fuck is your problem, nigga?" And he was like, "That's a fucking snitching on me," and I'm like, "What?" Suddenly, the dude who was in a wheelchair, Jesus came, healed the dude. He gets up. My guy gets up. I start fucking running, right? Because I'm like, oh, fuck that shit. I started running down the block and I was like, help, help. Because he was a fucking murderer. If I didn't know he was a murderer, I would have fucking tackled the motherfucker. But because he was a murderer, I'm like, I'm not dealing with this dude, man. I'm not dealing with the dude. So I started fucking running. He started running after me. I started noticing that the guy in the wheelchair started fucking running too. Apparently, these two guys saw me go in there, you know? And so they started running after me. And I did not know I was that fast. I did not know I was that fast. I did not know I could get up a block in less than 10 seconds. I did not know that shit, right? And so when I started looking back, look, let me tell you something. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets fucking worse. So I started looking back, and I'm like, okay, he went back inside, right? He went back inside. I called the cops, right? And mind you, I'm bleeding. My mouth is kind of bleeding. I call the cops, and these motherfuckers take 30 minutes. 30 minutes to get here, right? I clean myself up, right? It's been 30 minutes. I looked at myself, and and mind you, I left my book bag with him. I left my book bag, right? And thank God I didn't have anything. The only thing I had was my book, the 30 Strategies of War. I'm kind of disappointed because that book had a lot of my highlights and a lot of notes, but it's whatever, right? The cops came, right? And right in the first second of meeting these cops, I knew something was wrong. These cops were fucking spineless. I could tell that they were spineless. I went up to them. I was like, dude, I got hit in the mouth, broke my teeth, my tooth, and I think he's inside that building. We went there. We couldn't get in the building, right? Because we couldn't get in the building, we waited outside for somebody to come in, right? And we were talking, and guess who walks through the elevator? Poppy, the Puerto Rican guy who hit me with the wheelchair, right? And I was like, there's that motherfucker. There he is. I was like, there's that motherfucker, right? They went in there, they handcuffed him, and they started having a conversation with the guy, right? For like 30 minutes, for like 10 minutes, I started talking. And I was like, fuck, this is taking a long time, right? Then one of the cops came out and he started talking to me. He was like, dude, something about this story doesn't look right. And I'm like, what, my teeth? What are you talking about doesn't look right? He was like, dude, like, first of all, mind you guys, I got punched in the face, right? I wasn't thinking straight. Like my mind wasn't think. I think I had a slight concussion, right? That's why I'm not playing basketball right now, just to relax a little bit. I had a little slight concussion, and he was telling me that my things didn't look real. Like this didn't look. I was like, look, dude, does this look like it was made yesterday? And he was like, dude, it doesn't look like you were punched today. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't look like I was punched today. What the fuck you mean it doesn't look like I was punched today? What are you talking about? You know, he was like, calm down. What are we talking about? Calm down, motherfucker. I got hit. What do you mean calm the ass down? You know? And he was like, well, you know, like, what were you doing here? I'm like, what does it matter what I'm doing here? I'm telling you that I got hit. You should be asking what I'm doing here. And then the Puerto Rican guy, he was like, yeah, what are you doing here? I'm like, you, shut the fuck up. How about that? Shut the fuck up. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then they turned it around on me. You know, how what was I doing here? Because of the truth, I was trespassing, criminal trespassing. You can't go in those buildings, right? But that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I was fucked up. You don't commit a crime and then a crime is committed against you and call the cops. That's not how it works. If you commit a crime and then there's a crime committed against you because you committed a crime, that's not how things work in life. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't aware of that. I really wasn't aware of that. And so then they started calling, they called the deputy because apparently they didn't believe me. They thought that this was fake. They thought that this didn't happen today. And then I showed them a picture on my Instagram. I'm like, look, nigga, this was from yesterday. You think I'm fucking lying to you? It was like, that could have been anything. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, these motherfuckers, man. And then I was like, you know what? Fucking call your fucking friends, man. Get them over here. They called the deputy. The deputy came. The cop that was talking to me talked to the deputy first. And he was like, yo. And the deputy came to me. He was like this white guy. And he was like, hey, I was like, yo, man, look. I don't fucking believe what you're saying, man. What the fuck is your problem, man? If I find out you're fucking lying to me, you're fucking going to jail tonight. And then I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He was like, there's no way somebody could punch you and chip your teeth, right? And I was like, I know. Exactly. There's no way. And he was like, then why aren't you bleeding? I'm like, bitch, you guys took 30 minutes to get here. 30 minutes to get here. You think I'm gonna stay bleeding, bitch? You think I'm gonna stay bleeding? You know, like it's 30 minutes. You guys took 30 minutes to get here. And plus, I gave you guys the wrong direction. And the fact that I gave you guys the wrong direction means that there's a slight concussion. They're not aware that they're fucking stupid. They're fat fucks, man. They don't think straight. You know what I'm saying? And so they were like, look, man, we'll call the ambulance. And if they tell me that those scars are from today, you're getting arrested. And I'm like, you know what, man? It seems like what they're trying to tell me is we don't want to investigate this. Get the fuck out. And I was like, you know what? Robert Greene once said that you got to learn how to take an L someday. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this L. I'm going to let this guy win this fight for once. And I'm just going to take my losses and bounce, man. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm out. I walked out, you know. And the biggest disappointment wasn't the guy who hit me or my decision making. Yeah, my decision making was the very biggest disappointment. The second thing wasn't even the guy. It was the cops. How they turned it around. Now, I understand that I put myself in that position. You know, that's a problem. Is that sometimes it's not about what you know, but about the positions you put yourself in. Sometimes your position dictates more how things are going to turn out more than your tactical approach, right? And what's surprising is how this dude has so much anger inside of him. You know, like it's been 2 weeks. How do you punch someone with so much anger from a dude who inadvertently snitched on you? Now, mind you, the truth is this: it doesn't matter if you snitch on purpose or by mistake. A snitch is a snitch. You know what I'm saying? And so, and the thing is this: is that this is the funny thing. This is why I'm not that mad about that. Is that if it didn't happen that night, it was gonna happen again because I was gonna keep going there. You know, because that's my spot. I always kept going there. So it was good. And I run. My God, this is fucking crazy. Yo, do you imagine if he would have met me in the rooftop? If I would have not left early and he would have met me and his friend in the rooftop? I mean, just think about that. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I would have had an advantage because I would have been on top of the stairs and they would have been on the bottom of the stairs. The biggest advantage that you could have, one of the arts of war, is that fight in an elevated ground and let your enemies come to you. You know what I'm saying? So my strategy would have been either gone up on the stairs and let them come to me and I'll kick them, or there's a place on the rooftop where I would have climbed up on the stair on the whatchamacallit. There's this place on the rooftop that has a ladder, right? I would have climbed up there so that they have to climb up to me and get me. And so this is the thing is that if they have to climb up to me to get me, that means they have to go up the ladder one by one. And you know what that means, right? You know what the fuck that means, right? That means that if they try to fuck me up coming up the ladder, I'm gonna kick these motherfuckers down the ladder. Like it's that simple, right? That would have been my strategy. But it didn't happen, thank God. But that would have been dangerous. Or he could have had a knife on him. Rather than punch me in the mouth, he could have slashed my face. You know, like I think that was the best case scenario, in all honesty, because it just could have gone so many different routes. So many different routes I could have gone. You know, and you could call it bad luck that I met him in that second. But you could call it good luck that I made in that second, because my decision making was pretty fucking stupid. Like I should have been aware that people like him, people who murder people, people who go to jail, have this tendency to put up a front of happiness and of being polite, but at the flip of the switch, they could change and fucking punch you in the mouth. you know and I find and it's crazy how that reflects life, how people could act one way around you, but deep down they have bad intentions with you. Never trust appearances. Never trust appearances, and do not let anyone jade your instincts. Your instincts are the most important things that we have. Our instincts, and the more your mind is clouded with weed, with negative thinking, with unnecessary attachment of past victories, with negative emotions, you will never be able to catch those things. And then when it comes to relationships, sometimes you're too in your head, too into the fantasy, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, that you're not seeing how you're being poisoned. You know what I'm saying? And so take this as a lesson. 1, don't snitch. 2, never turn your back on your enemy, right? 3, never let your arm down, not even for a friend, right? 4, never trust appearances. And 5, don't call the cops when you commit a crime and somebody commits a crime because you committed a crime. The cops are not there to help you. You know what I'm saying? And look, it says you cannot blame the victim, but look, I'm the victim, and I'm blaming myself for that because I put myself in that kind of position. Look, man, it's all about the kind of position you put yourself in. Sure, people are criminals and they'll fuck you up. That's part of life. But how did you put yourself in that position? How did you put yourself in that position? I put myself in that position because I didn't learn. I didn't follow the rule of snitches get stitches. Don't be around that area if you see a homeless guy that you snitched on. Don't be around that area, and don't turn your back on people, and people don't like people blaming the victim, but that's part of how it is. If a girl's walking at 3 a.m. in the morning looking sexy as shit may happen, bitch. Shit may happen if you're walking at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? Don't put yourself in that position. This is the thing. The Art of War says this, right? Let me show you. The book The Art of War is in. Okay, let me show you. Look, let me show you this. Let me show you this, right? And this is very true, right? Let me show you this. It's about defeating your enemy. Okay, look. Listen to this. It says, the good fighter of old first puts themselves beyond the possibility of defeat. In other words, a smart guy would not have gone there. I maybe would have smoked walking, or maybe would have gone to another neighborhood. Going to that neighborhood wasn't smart because that guy clearly had a vendetta against me. A smart guy would not put themselves in a the good fighter will first put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat, because your defeat is based on your decision, and then waited for an opportunity of defeating the enemy. To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands. You see what I'm saying? But the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy itself. In other words, getting mugged is in your hands. Don't walk around at night. Don't walk around looking flashy. Don't walk around alone. Cover your tracks by walking in the daytime, walking with friends, and walking and looking simple, and suddenly defeat is in your hands. People are not going to look at you. You see what I'm saying? But let's say somebody tries to mug you, right? Despite of all that, right? Fuck that. You know what I'm talking about, right? So it says, thus the good fighter is able to secure himself against defeat, but cannot make certain of defeating the enemy also. That's fucking crazy, right? Hence the saying, one may know how to conquer without being able to how to do it. So what do? What's my revenge? My revenge is just, I'm going to let somebody else fuck him up, Somebody's going to fuck him up again. It's inevitable. He's going to go back to jail. I may feel like wanting and fuck him up, hit him with a bat, hit him in his kneecap with a bat. I really feel the urge to do that, to be perfectly honest with you, and find him, fuck him up. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let somebody else do that. I'm going to trust in his stupidity. You got to trust people's stupidity. You gotta trust that people are stupid and they're gonna make mistakes and that they're gonna put themselves in stupid positions. That's not my responsibility. Because if I try to go back and do something, then guess what? I'm part of them. And guess what? They're gonna crazy people will want to get revenge. You got to remember that. You got to be careful the fights that you got to be careful when you fight. You know, fighting irrational people is one of the dumbest things you want to do because irrational people will make mistakes, and mistakes can sometimes mean punching you or fucking you up because they could fuck up their lives. But guess what? You're already fucked. You know what I'm saying? Do not be the mistake of some stupid person. All right? Because that mistake could fuck them up forever, but fuck you up also as well because you could die, you know? That was a big that was a big eye opener. A big eye opener. A big it's very interesting though. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And will I go there? Nah, I'm not that stupid. I go to the other building. I'm kidding. What I learned from this, I gotta get my own place, man. I gotta get my own place, a place where I could just smoke inside, and that'll definitely fix the problem, man. And I gotta stop making friends with so many hood people, man. Like I know too many hood people, man. I fucks with the hood too much, man. That's a problem, man. Like I make friends with my friend. This is some friends that shouldn't be my friends. To be perfectly honest with you, like. You know, it's part of when you play basketball. You know, you sometimes you hang around the wrong people, right? And so you know, you might see me on the street and we're like, what the fuck is Alex doing with that guy? So I gotta level up like they said, man. So yeah, man, that's part of the story. I hope you guys like the story. You know, it's a little funny story. It's a long story, and it's very interesting. And I'm lucky that nothing worse happened. Like my teeth is good. My root, everything's good. My jaw is good. It was only one punch. Apparently that punch was horrible because again, it didn't even knock my tooth out. You know, it didn't knock it out. And I actually broke my jaw a few years ago, and I was actually afraid of getting punched in the face because I was afraid of breaking my jaw. But apparently, this jaw is strong as shit. You know what I'm talking about? Apparently, my doctors did the right thing, man. And you know what? Like Sunflower said, it's perfect what you said. Yeah, it's true. I'm actually gonna start carrying a knife around, man. I really am, like a small little switchblade or something like that, because you never know when you're gonna use it, man. You never know. You just never know when you're gonna use it. You never know. It's not even about using it, but more about the deterring any possible threats as well. You know, like deterrence is the most important thing. And also, it's not just also deterrence, but about your confidence. Like you know you have a life inside of you, so you're not gonna emit signs of weakness. You're not gonna be afraid because you're defensive. You know, like if somebody tries to fuck with you, you're like, dude, don't fuck with me. You know, deep down you have something that you could use against them. So it's not even about using it, but about how it affects your demeanor because you know you can defend yourself. Yeah, man, it's just crazy, man. It's just insane. And look, man, with people, man, you guys, you can't. I think being naive is one of the most dangerous things in the world. Do not trust appearances, man. Don't trust appearances, all right? And don't depend on cops. Unfortunately, do not depend on cops. Cops are just people who hate their jobs. You know, cops are people who hate their jobs, and they're tired of all the bullshit they got to deal with, man. Anyways, that's it, man. Don't tell my mom. If you're my family member, shut the fuck up. I don't want any of my family members knowing this. If I find the only thing I don't like about this, but it's whatever, man. Peace out, deuces.